afternoon everyone, myself Mehzabeen Hussain, Assistant Professor, College of Education, Nagaon. Welcome to the YouTube channel Academic Learning. Today we are here to discuss a topic named as personality and its various characteristics, features. So let's begin our class. The word personality was derived from the Latin word persona. This is a word which was associated with the Greek theatres of ancient time. The word persona, it actually was a name given to mask worn by Greek actors while enacting different characteristics on the stages. So the word persona is actually associated with the mask which was worn by Greek actors in theatres. Now, what is personality? Now, personality is the combination of characteristics or qualities that makes an individual distinctive characters. That is, distinctive means different. It means it makes a person different from one another. That is uniqueness. We have to focus on the word unique because it is a personality that makes a person unique. Okay, it is the total picture of a man which makes him different from another man. Now, personality, the word personality, it also represents the various characteristic features of an individual. It is his attitudes, his beliefs, his characteristics, patterns, his mindset, what he feels, everything is included in the personality of an individual. Now, it also refers to the individual differences. We all know that as we all human beings, we are individually different from one another. That is, no two individual is alike. Every individual is different from one another. Now, personality, it refers to that individual differences. Okay, because every man, he behaves or he has a different set of attitudes which makes him distinct from another human being. Okay, it is the development. We can also define personality as the development of organized patterns of behavior and attitude that makes a man different from one another. As I said that yes, personality is such an aspect of an individual which makes him different from another person. That is, it includes his behavioral patterns, his cognitive aspect, his affective aspect, every dimension of his totality is what is represented in personality of an individual. The meaning of personality will become more clear when we discuss the various characteristic features of personality. So let's discuss the characteristics of personality one by one. The first one is personality is most clearly expressed in interaction with other people. Now, personality embraces moods, attitudes, opinions and behavioral characteristics of an individual and is clearly expressed while he is interacting with others. That is, when we are alone or when we are not interacting with people, our opinions, our attitudes it can never be expressed. So it is clearly expressed when we are in a social gathering or in a social group, when we are interacting with people. So personality is clearly seen or expressed while we are in a social setup. Secondly, it is unique and specific. Personality is unique and specific to individuals. Okay, it is the uniqueness that actually forms the personality pattern in an individual. Every individual has specific characteristics which are unique to himself and which makes him different from the other person. Now here, uniqueness now does not also mean that you cannot share common characteristics with others. Yes, you can share certain common characteristics with other people, as well as you will have certain characteristics which are unique and specific to only yourself. Thirdly, the concept of self. Well, the self concept is the core of personality pattern. Now, what is self concept? The term self concept means it is the perception of an individual's own self. That is, who am I or what I think of myself. Self concept means how an individual perceives himself. That is the mental picture of who I am. Say for example, I am a good friend or I am an honest human being. So that's my own perception, that I'm a good friend, or I'm an honest person, I'm a sincere person. So that honesty, that goodness is my own perception. That is the self-concept. Self-concept forms the core of personality pattern. And a man is said to have a personality when the consciousness of self enters his mind. So the concept of self, that is self-concept, is a very essential part of forming a positive and dynamic personality. Fourth, personality includes everything. Now, personality includes everything in a man. It touches the cognitive, affective, social, physical, mental, moral, and all other aspects of a human being. It includes everything that is associated with a man. Then, personality is the organization of psychophysical system. Well, personality is not just the collection of traits and characteristics. It is more than that. It is the organization of a psychophysical system. That is, only by seeing the physical characteristics or seeing certain traits, we cannot determine, or we cannot assess the actual personality of an individual. We need to go through his entire aspects, that is different dimension of his characteristics, his mentality, his psychological well-being, his social, his emotional aspect, everything. That is what we say, that personality is the organization of the entire psychophysical system. Next, personality is dynamic and continuously changing. Well, the personality of an individual is, we can say that to some extent it is stable, but we cannot say that it is fixed and rigid. Personality is dynamic and it is continuously in the process of changes and modifications, because an individual is constantly interacting with the environment, and therefore while making interaction with the environment, he has to make a lot of adjustment. He has to make a lot of changes and modifications in order to accustom with the challenges of the environment. That is why we have to make certain changes and modification to our personality from time to time in order to make better adjustment in the environment. Now also an individual has to make a balance between the environment and his inner forces. So in order to make this balance also, the person has to make changes and modification, and therefore we can say that personality is not static, it is dynamic, it is changing, it requires changes, because an individual has to accustom to the needs and necessities and the challenges of the environment he is standing. Next is, personality is the product of heredity and environment. So first we'll talk about heredity. What is heredity? The term heredity means the heredity is the genetic information which is transferred from parents to offspring. It is the genetic information, that is gene. What is gene? We all know that gene carries DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA, it carries the genetic information of an individual. How a person is going to look, his hair texture, his eyes color, his skin, his height, his color, everything is fixed, and that information is carried in a DNA. So that DNA is passed from parents to the offspring. Now personality is a product of heredity. Okay, the physical characteristics as well as certain behavioral aspect of an individual is carried through the hereditary factors, that is the genetic information which is passed from the parents to the children. Next is, personality is the product of the environment. Now as we all know, and as I discussed a while ago, that environment is, we all individual, we have to constantly interact with our environment. Every day we meet new challenges, we meet new people, we come across different social groups. So this whole environment that is surrounding us, it is challenging for us, and we have to make changes and modifications as per the requirements in order to satisfy the environment. So personality is an end product or product of the constant interaction with the environment. The experience that we gain, the changes that we bring, the reformations that we make as a result of our environmental interactions is what gives a shape to our personality. It is what makes the individual build a strong personality. That is what we can say that, and personality is the product of environment. Next is learning. Yes, now learning is another aspect or a strong factor of personality. We human beings, right from our birth till death, we learn and we acquire various experiences. Now this learning is through our formal education as well as a non-formal education. Learning is through our interaction with people in our different situations of life. So learning gives us different knowledge. Learning gives us different ideas, it helps us develop ourselves. So learning and experiences contributes to the personality development of an individual. Next is, we should not confuse personality with characteristics or character, sorry. We should not confuse it with character, because character is an ethical concept. Okay, it is more of the morality aspect of an individual, whereas personality is a comprehensive term. It is associated with the psychological aspect of an individual. Again, temperament. We should not confuse personality with the temperament, because temperament is an emotional disposition of an individual, whereas personality is a different term. Also, we should not confuse personality with the ego. Okay, so these three things should not be confused with the term personality, the character of an individual, the temperament and the ego of an individual, because personality is a broader term. Okay, it includes all the dimensions, all the aspects of an individual, including physical, moral, social, psychological, mental, everything. So these are the certain characteristic features of personality. I hope you have understood the term personality by now. Please give me a sincere feedback of my class today, and please subscribe the channel Academic Learning. Thank you all.